Michael Holt, aka Mr. Terrific, first appeared in Spectre Volume 3, number 54, all the way back in June 97, before I was even born. Feels like it's been a while since we've done a character profile on an older character.
I was born in 97.
Yeah, you were like 12.
I was 2. I was 2.
Holt's abilities, as he calls it, is a natural aptitude for having natural aptitudes. So what this basically means is he's got a natural ability to just get stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so like when you'd find like your sport or your activity you're good at, and just naturally before like trying hard, you were already like a bit better than everyone else. That's his thing. He is just by default better than everyone at everything. Like before putting his mind to anything, he's already gets it to a certain level.
Got you.
But because he's like that with everything, it also means he's really good at getting better at stuff quickly. So even before becoming a superhero, he had 14 PhDs, ranging in subjects like engineering, physics, law, psychology, chemistry, political science, computer science, mathematics.
My guy literally went yes to all degrees.
He's also a self-made multimillionaire from his high-tech firm.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
And he's also got an Olympic gold medal in the decathlon.
Oh.
Which, for anyone who's not a big Olympics fan, the decathlon is 10 events.
Yeah.
And is by far the most impressive gold medal to have. And it also just shows off like what we're talking about, the fact that he's just good at everything. Yeah. The decathlon is 10 completely separate events that you have to do well in.
Yep.
However, all of these skills, accolades, and knowledge weren't enough to save Holt from tragedy. As his older brother, his wife, not his older brother's wife, his wife, and his unborn child all died.
Oh.
This left Holt depressed and contemplating suicide. The Spectre, which is essentially one of God's angels in the DC universe, which is funny because even to this day, Holt is an atheist. Intervened and taught him about Terry Salone, who was the original Mr. Terrific.
Okay.
The Golden Age Mr. Terrific. Learning more about his story, he became inspired. He took on the name and joined the JSA.
Oh, okay.
Justice Society of America, for those who don't understand the acronym. Eventually, he did become the JSA's chairman.
Oh, okay.
Basically, there was a battle between an old chairman and the current chairman at the time. I forget who was who. And it got so divisive that eventually, even though he wasn't running, everyone decided he was the best person to lead. So he reluctantly took the role. As a result of this taking of becoming the JSA chairman, he developed a little bit of a friendly rivalry with his Justice League of America counterpart, Batman. Although they have a mutual respect, there is definitely a friendly rivalry there. And through time travel, Michael Holt has also been able to meet his predecessor, Terry Salone, who, when they met, Terry Salone was overjoyed and beamed with pride at his worthy successor. So a couple of really unique things about Mr. Terrific is, although he's like elite level at everything, he's also invisible to technology. So he has what he calls his T-spheres and his iconic T-shaped mask. And the technology that they use basically hide him from any kind of electro detection. He's invisible to cameras. He can't be picked up by sonar, stuff like that. It will just ignores him, which, as I'm sure you can imagine, comes in pretty handily.
Yeah, I
Um,
can imagine it does.
he was also called upon to save Catwoman's life
Oh.
by Batman. And when they were reforming the Justice League after one of the big events, Batman was adamant that they had to try and get Mr. Terrific because of how much he can bring to the table.
Yeah, because he sounds OP.
He is. He is. You know, like when you're a kid and you're coming up with your characters for your silly little games, and you're like, no, my guy's faster than your guy, and he's stronger than your guy, and he's smarter than your guy.
He wants all the things.
He's Mr. Terrific. He's terrific at everything.
Yeah, it just makes me think of like when D&D players like meta build the most strong OP character they can. They're like, oh, I have a subclass in all these different classes because that means I'm good at everything.
Yeah, it is min-maxing a
Yeah.
comic book character for sure. But he's also very interesting. He describes himself as the third smartest man on the planet. Which is wild. Imagine having the self-awareness to go, yeah, I have 14 PhDs and I've made it so that technology can't detect me, but I'm only the third smartest Donny cutting about. His company, Holt Industries, I believe is currently owned by Wayne Enterprises. He sold it to Bruce Wayne. My understanding is he didn't have the ability to run the company safely anymore.
Right.
And he only trusted Bruce Wayne / Batman to look after the technology his company possessed. So he sold his company to Wayne Enterprises.
Makes sense. You know, it's in safe hands.
And we'll talk about it a little bit later, but Mr. Terrific has been confirmed as being in Superman Legacy, which
interesting stuff.
Is very exciting. And it continues on James Gunn's legacy of trying to find less well-known and popular characters and give them a little bit of a limelight. So it will definitely be interesting.
It will indeed.